For the past year or so, I've wanted to make YouTube videos, but for one reason or another, I couldn't figure out what was most important. And so just the other day, I came back to this set of cards that I had that really helped me figure out in my life what I should be focusing on and what's important. And I thought, what better way, to create the beginnings of my channel than to start by telling you and going through the process live of what is actually important to me. So I'm going to introduce you to this set of cards that are the personal values card sort. And, I didn't really do much research into the history of these. My understanding is that, they're from the University of New Mexico in 2001. You can find them by Googling very easily. You can find the PDF, which I did, and I printed them out and cut them up. And I've used them before, and, they're a really great resource. I've shared them with friends as well. And basically, it's a really simple process. So you have all of these cards, and you have three categories. You have very important, you have important, and then you have not important. And so the notion is that you are sorting these cards in such a way that you are able to get a better sense of what is actually important to you. So I'm going to talk you through my process a little bit. So you do, you break them into categories, and then we kind of get rid of the ones that are less important. So I'm going to flip these around, put that very important over here so we can see. So, what are my core values? What's really there? Generosity, to give what I have to others. Is that very important? To be generous. Is that absolutely a core tenet? It's important. It's not necessarily. Passion, to have deep feelings about ideas, activities, or people. Yeah, passion's very important to me. I'm a very passionate person. See, caring, which you might think it has similarities to generosity, and I'm sure there are similarities, but it's a little different to me. And caring, to take care of others, I value that really highly. Ooh, I'm losing focus. There we go. So caring, I would say, is very important to me. Self-esteem, to feel good about myself. I mean, it's important, but it's not a core tenet. Pleasure, to feel good. It's important, but, not even like that important as far as my aims. Inner peace, to experience personal peace. It's something that I feel pretty good with. I don't really feel like I'm striving necessarily for it at this point in time of my life. Intimacy, to share my innermost experience with others. It is important, but it's not very important, so we can keep it in this important category. Mindfulness, to live conscious and mindful of the present moment. I would say that this is very important to me, but, as much as I want it to be, as much as I want to live conscious and mindful of the present moment, I don't necessarily feel that at this point in my life I'm striving to do so as much as I'd like. And, because of that, I don't think it's central. So, again, it's important, but not number one or two or three or four or so. Self-acceptance, to accept myself as I am. I'm pretty good with that. Again, important, but not crucial. Humor, to see the humorous side of myself and the world. That's really good for myself for balance, I find. I like to make a lot of jokes. And I do find humor in a lot of things. So it is important, but it's not this calling per se. Honesty, to be honest and truthful. Um, that's another one that is definitely something that is, very important to me. Um, Authenticity is really high on my list. We're going to come up to communication at some point or something like that, and we'll talk more. But yeah, it's really important that we're honest with one another, because it's so easy to misunderstand. And I've found that so much of my time has been, missing and wasted, um, because we weren't able to communicate well, and we just didn't understand each other, and we didn't ask the right questions. We just heard someone say something, and we just, took it at the value that we believed it to be, but it wasn't really what it was, and we didn't ask. And so it's really important to try and figure out whether the people are saying what you're hearing. It's a good thing to say, oh, when you said this and that, is this what you meant? Did you mean this and that and that? And they might say, yeah, that is what I meant. Thank you for hearing me. And they might really appreciate that. So um, yeah. Knowledge. To learn and contribute valuable knowledge. Yeah, that's really important to me. I mean, that's kind of why I'm doing this right here and now. Um, in the past, I wouldn't have said very important to me for knowledge, but right now, I think it is. So we'll go there for now. Uh, Fun, to play and have fun. Uh, yes, but so are lots of things. Achievement, to have important accomplishments. No. Um, I just feel that it's superficial for me. It's not like I have achieved some things. I've won some things here and there, and uh, it's cool. Like there are these markers. It's like, oh, this time I did this thing and I got that thing and it feels good. And but it's fleeting. It's it doesn't mean all that much by itself. Just the achievement. It's like I don't know. It's temporary. Um, Sexuality, to have an active and satisfying sex life. I mean, sure, it's important, but not my life isn't driven by sexuality. Nurturance, to take care and nurture of others. Hmm. So I look at this one and I see nurturance, to take care and to take care of and nurture others. Um, and I wonder, how different is this one than caring, to take care of others? To take care of others, to take care of and nurture others. Hmm, interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna switch these ones out. I'm gonna dodge caring into the important to me, and we're gonna put nurturance over here, because I get this impression, that when we say nurturing, I the word fostering comes up in my mind, and I think about someone who is trying to do something, and you can care for them when they're trying to do something, but if you nurture them, then you're not just caring for them and helping them as a person to be that person, to feel good or to be okay, but you're helping them with what they're trying to do. And I think that's a greater aim of mine. I'm not just trying to care for people to care for people. I want to care for people so they can care for people, so they can care for people, and we can have a more caring world. And I think that fits with nurturing more than simply caring. Um, Autonomy, to be self-determined and independent. Um, yeah. Um, no, I don't really. Doesn't resonate. Growth, to keep changing and growing. Um, Again, it's important to grow, but um, I'm pretty okay where I'm at. Not to say that I'm not that I'm done growing or anything. It just, isn't central. Um, Self knowledge, to have a deep and honest understanding of myself. This touches me. I've spent a lot of time introverting, a lot of time reflecting, and self-analyzing. My best friends are psychologists. I got this from my dear friend Megan, um, who shared this with me, and who uses it in her practice, and it is very central, um, to but I don't necessarily feel that it's something that I need to say, uh, is going to be something that's going to be driving my decisions, or driving my life. Um, Not right now, anyhow. In the same way, um, that mindfulness, while incredibly important, it's just not uh, it's not right here and now for me, you know. So let's move that over here. Um, Faithfulness, to be loyal and true in relationships. Sure, it is what it is. Um, Loving, to give love to others. Yeah, it's important. Sure. Creativity, to have new and original ideas. Uh, we have a lot of ideas. We collectively have, more media than we will ever be able to watch in, thousands of lifetimes. I think we have some great ideas. We just need to work together, piece them together, and create and build those things. So it's less about the creative ideas and more about actually turning those creative ideas into really awesome things. Uh, Loved, to be loved by those close to me. It is very important. I do agree. Yeah. Um, it definitely was a driving force for me at some point, I'm sure. Um, but it's not right now. I'm feeling pretty loved by those around me. Genuineness, to act in a manner that is true to who I am. Heck yeah. That one plays with honesty. Um, yeah, to act in a manner that is true to who I am. Yeah, the authenticity. It's so core. It's so important to me. One of my first jobs, I was working telemarketing when I was 14 or 15 or something. A friend of mine got this job at this call center, and I remember calling this woman up. We were selling these medical alert type bracelets, but it really didn't sit right with me. It didn't seem legitimate. It seemed, I don't know. I don't know if I couldn't say. It just didn't seem like it was a real product, or something was amiss. And I wasn't very, so my heart wasn't behind this product. And I made my first sale, the first person to actually say yes. And I lost my voice instantaneously. I was struggling to speak, to move her to the next to the next, like the person that would take the information and place the order and so on, um, because it didn't feel right, and my voice just left me. Um, it just wasn't there. So yeah, being honest and being genuine, uh, I can't not be. It's so challenging for me. Um, yeah, I'm a terrible liar. I really am. So yeah, we're gonna move out honesty, because honesty is great, but genuineness is a level beyond. I feel, at least for me. Friendship, to have close and supportive friends, certainly important, and I've recognized that more and more. And I'm working more towards fostering those friendships that I believe are most important to me. Yeah, nurturing them, Because, I was told once by a very smart man, um, friends are the people who show up. So I've kind of took that to heart and, you know, started asking myself, who are the people in my life that are really important? Who do I want to keep seeing? Who do I want to keep spending time with? And I've put energy towards that, and I want to put more energy towards that. It's not completely natural for me. Um, I spent a lot of time alone in my life. My parents. I have a brother and sister, but who are much older than I am, and I grew up in such a way where I was raised by my parents certainly, but as far as friendships, I had my good friends and whatnot, but I don't know, there was just something missing. It was, yeah, like I feel like I grew up, I spent a lot of time alone. I didn't have kids in my neighborhood. I didn't have this clique of like kids, and we'd all bike around and like get into misadventures and stuff. Like things like that happened on occasion, but it really felt like it was few and far between, and I really missed that. I've always missed that. I always wanted that, and in being in my early 30s now, it's obviously very different to make friends and to maintain friendships and the way that we are. Um, so yeah, it can be a challenge. So it requires a little more dedication. It doesn't happen as naturally. Um, you have to actually put in the effort. I mean, same goes for dating. It's sure maybe you'll find this instant chemistry connection with someone, but some people you just have to hang out with a few more times if you think they're cool, and maybe something starts developing, and it just takes a little time. Um, yeah, to each their own. Ecology: to live in harmony with the environment. That is important. Um, yep, but it's not my. I mean, I wish it was more over here, I guess, but not really. It's not where my head's at. It's not where my heart's at. Not directly. I want to be supportive of the people that are passionate, that are hyper passionate about ecology. Um, so I want to nurture that in them. That's kind of more my speed. Um, Purpose: to have meaning and direction in my life. Um, it is very important. I wonder. I wanted to do this to kind of figure out, what is my purpose right now? What's important? Why am I doing this? Um, but just in the very act of doing this by itself, I don't necessarily feel that purpose is a driver. Is it? I don't know. I'm going to put it in very important for now. We're going to come back to it later. We're going to reflect a little bit more. Forgiveness: to be forgiving of others. It is important. It's good to do. Romance: to have intense, exciting love in my life. It's fun. Realism: to see and act realistically and practically. It is important. I don't like getting too lost. I do like concrete projects. It is pretty key, but um, I think it gets in the way more often that I see in real life than it helps. I think that our problems are more that we're not dreaming big enough, or that we're not seeing that these dreams aren't actually that big. In the States, Medicare for all, like they speak about it like it's some ludicrous idea, like the rest of the world isn't already doing it. So I think that yeah, maybe the world's needs a little less realism because it's being misused. Risk: to take risks and chances. Meh. Yes, no. Contribution: to make a lasting contribution in the world. I again, this is with like purpose, and I do feel that there's this interrelation. Um, I'm having this conversation with you because I'm hoping that a whole bunch of you download these cards and print them out and do this activity for yourselves and help guide yourselves a little bit better. So it is quite important. So we'll leave that there. Humility, to be modest and unassuming. No. If you're genuine, what do you need humility for? Comfort, to have a pleasant and comfortable life. Comfort is dangerous, so dangerous. Acceptance, to be accepted as I am. Yeah, that is really important. Um, but I have self acceptance in a lot of ways, so I don't feel you know, and I have been accepted enough by others, those that I respect. So I'm kind of okay. Order, to have a life that is well ordered and organized. Yeah, I'm between important and not important. I don't know. I could benefit from more order, but I don't know if I want it. I don't know if I would benefit. I don't know. It's questionable. It's a tricky one. Spirituality, to grow and mature spiritually. Yeah, sure, whatever. Family, to have a happy, loving family. Same thing as friends. Solitude, to have time and space where I can be apart from others. It's important, but again, you know. Excitement, to have a life full of thrills and stimulation. No. Courtesy, to be considerate and polite towards others. Yeah, it's a tricky one. Self control, to be disciplined in my own actions. Yeah, it's important, but Leisure, to take time to relax and enjoy. I've overspent in leisure. Helpfulness, to be helpful to others. Yeah, that one is important. That touches in contribution and so on. I'll leave helpfulness in this pile. Challenge, to take on difficult tasks and problems. I feel like that would be helpful for me. Um, but I think I also create my own challenges well enough. Making this video itself is it's been daunting. It's been really scary. Just to get it going has taken me a very long time, very very long time. So I'm okay on the challenges. I think for now, the challenges that are existing in my life can be large enough. Industry, to work hard and well in my life tasks. Yeah, it's good. Sure, important, not important. Afterwards we're going to kind of like shove all the important and not importance aside, so it doesn't 100% matter where they fall into here. It's kind of good for you yourself. But integrity, yeah, integrity, in very interrelated. I wrote this down with my roommates. We thought that we should have integrity as one of the values. We thought we might write a definition. That's why I kind of left space underneath. But um, yeah, to be true to your word. You say you're going to do something, do something. Be reliable, be trustworthy. Um, I think integrity is huge, and I think we, you know, need to be more reliable to one another. I think it's really hurting us to not be reliable to one another, both in friendships, in relationships, in casual dating, this ghosting business, in collective projects. We need integrity in our collective lives. Yeah, and I think that it's it's what's gonna hold us together. Um, I'm my word is very important to me, and I appreciate having people in my lives who are also um, bonded by their word. So yeah, it is definitely important and potentially even very important. Um, we'll put it in very important even for now. Other value, other value. Fame, to be known and recognized. No, I really don't want that. Virtue, to live a morally pure and excellent life, wealth to have plenty of money, service to be of service to others. Yeah, but I like the idea of nurturing more than I like the idea of service. Power to have control over others. No. Adventure to have new and exciting experiences. Um, Not super important. Feeling pretty okay. Change to have a life full of change and variety. That doesn't have to. Commitment to make enduring, meaningful commitments. Yeah, but like that's integrity, and that's I don't know. That doesn't feel like the end. It feels like a means. Um, I just want to have people who have integrity in my life. Fitness to be physically fit and strong. Yeah, it's important, but beauty to appreciate the beauty around me. I do, but I'm not aesthetically driven that much. Popularity to be well liked by many people. I wish this wasn't as important to me. Um, but it's okay, I guess. It's certainly not my driving force, though. I recognize the futility in you know being known or having a lot of friends or having a lot of acquaintances. It's it's okay. Again, it's some of these things I've kind of lived, and I've realized that they don't really do much for me. Tradition to follow respected patterns of the past. Absolutely not. Attractiveness to be physically attractive. It is and was. Yeah, but I kind of accept myself as I am. Monogamy. No. That's for another video. Authority. To be in charge of and responsible for others. Absolutely not. Duty. To carry out my duties and obligations. Yeah, but in the integrity sense. God's will. To seek and obey the will of God. In the sense that we're all God, sure. Openness. To be open to new experiences, ideas, and options. It is important. This is one that is actually quite important. Kind of get roped up into closed-mindedness if we're not open to new experiences and ideas. So it definitely is important, but not my driving force at this point in time. I think I have a good enough understanding. Dependability, to be reliable and trustworthy. Heck yeah, that's interrelated to integrity. Justice, to promote fair and equal treatment for all. Yeah, I remember when I did this initially, I justice was absolutely one of my top ones, my top three, in fact. Um, and I wonder where it is. I wonder if it's still there. Um, I I do a lot or I do feel a lot towards that, and I push ideas that I feel are advocating justice as consistently as I possibly can. Um, so it is very important to me. Let's see where it shows up later. Tolerance, to accept and respect those who differ from me. Yes. I mean, everyone has to respect or ought to be respectful. Um, you know, Health, to be physically well and healthy, sure. Simplicity, to live life simply with minimal needs. Um, I mean, yes, it's important, or it's not important, but I do it um, because it works for me, and I think that it's a better way to be for me. Um, I don't need a lot of stuff. Uh, yeah, it doesn't, more stuff doesn't make me happier. Flexibility, to adjust to new circumstances easily. Yeah, it's not that important. Responsibility, to make and carry out responsible decisions. I guess not. All right, we're getting to the end here. Moderation, to avoid excesses and to find a middle ground. I don't like that one. At least not in the way that it's phrased. I think moderation can be tricky. I'm not a fan of centrism. I can say that much. Hope, to maintain a positive and optimistic outlook. Yeah, yeah, that is very important. We'll talk about that a little more later, maybe. Stability, to have a life that stays fairly consistent. Compassion, to feel and act on concern for others. Um, it is important, but I touch the other ones more. Nurturance feels more apt in that category. Safety, to be safe and secure. Yeah. Cooperation, to work collaboratively with others. Hmm. I mean, it is. Is it my driver? No, it's not my driver. Rationality, to be guided by reason and logic. It is very important, but again, not my driver. Accuracy, to be accurate in my opinions and beliefs. Yes, but it doesn't. I don't know. A little more complicated than that. Nonconformity, to question and challenge authority and norms. It is very important to me. Um, yeah, it is very important to me. Let's leave it there for now. I think that we've adhered to too many traditional values for God knows why, for way too long. World peace, to work to promote peace in the world. That's a nice idea, but a little too grandiose and wishy washy. Independence, to be free from dependence on others. No. Interdependence, if that was a card. I should put interdependence as one of the other ones. Um, yeah, and mastery, to be competent in my everyday activities. It is important, yeah, but not number one. Hmm. Yeah, note to self, interdependence for one of these guys. So, I can take these ones aside. I can leave these here actually. And now we can do step 2. So, same deal. And we're trying to get down to, just 3 of them. And, the notion of it is if we're able to do that, when we are faced with decisions, with problems, with ideas, we can think back to what are our, top values, our top core values, uh, and how does this decision relate to those? Does it touch them? Is it really that important? Um, I was in a situation. I'll bring up the justice card. Let's start with that because I think that's going to stay um, in very important for now. So I was recently I was screwed out of a lease for illegal reasons, and I started to fight it, and the energy that it took to seek out this justice um, was just escalating and escalating and escalating. And I'm like, justice is one of my core values. I have to keep fighting for this. Uh, but at some point, is it worth it? What is for what? For the idea of justice in itself. Uh, and so ultimately, I was like, okay, I pushed well beyond what is reasonable at this point. It's still a long way to go. I just need to let it go. And so I did. And actually, um, letting that go has been really helpful in my life because there have been multiple other scenarios since then where I've been wronged in one way or another. And, I have this idea of seeking justice and wanting things to be square. And, and I just ask myself, is it worth it? Is this the battle worth fighting for? And not everyone is. Not every battle is a battle worth fighting for. A lot of them are not at all. So the quicker that you can learn that lesson, the easier it'll be to move on for me. So let's leave justice there. Nonconformity, to question and challenge authority and norms. You know, in and of it, it is very important, but in and of itself, it isn't. Because, if the norms and the authorities were not so awful, I wouldn't feel as driven to challenge them as much. Um, so it's I also don't like necessarily the notion that it's against something. I actively refer to myself not as an anti-capitalist, but as a post-capitalist, because I believe the framing is incredibly important. The notion to be for something is much more in line with my values than the notion to be against something, even if I am also against something. So, yeah, it's a different battle. It's a different way to perceive things, and I think it's very important to be striving towards something and for something versus fighting against something, because yeah, it's just I mean, we need both. Definitely need people to fight against, and we need people to strive for. I'm personally one of the strivers for'arders. So I absolutely 100% respect those that are fighting against, and I appreciate your commitment. I know how important it is, uh, and I don't think I can personally do it. So I think that's wonderful that there's a lot of other people that have put their energy towards that. So thank you, thank you. You hold off the old guard while there are some of us that are building towards the new future. So it's very important what you're doing. It's appreciated. Don't believe that it's not. What you're doing is really important. Um, integrity. Um, yeah, integrity to have integrity, to be relied upon and trusted is very important. Um, but I think that authenticity or genuineness would come in front of that uh, for me. So let's put genuineness back up here. Contribution, to make a lasting contribution to this world. It definitely was very important at some point, um, but it feels too fleeting. It doesn't feel concrete enough for me. It doesn't mean enough. Like nurturance, for example. I can help somebody, I can nurture them, I can know right then and there what's going on, and that's great. So let's nurturance above contribution. Passion, to have deep feelings about ideas, activities, or people. Well, I certainly am passionate. Um, and it's important for me to be around people sometimes that are also passionate about whatever. They can be passionate about art or anime. Ideally, not oil pipelines um, or war or horrible things. But passion as a central tenet, as a driving force. Um, yeah, am I passionate about this? Is that How important is that? I'm gonna hold on to it for now. I'm not ready to let go of it yet. Let's go one more round at least. Purpose, to have meaning and direction in my life. The more I think about that, the less it fits. The world is so strange right now. So strange. Um, it's too difficult for me to I think I will have purpose in my life no matter what. I don't think I need to 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 have this sense of, is this driven towards my purpose. um, I think that's too rigid. I think that if I'm drawn to something, to be doing something, that I have to believe that it applies positively towards my overall purpose. So I would say passion above purpose, because they'll intertwine. Hope, to maintain a positive and optimistic outlook. It's key. It is certainly key. I I don't see that going away in myself. Yeah, I'm someone that will retain hope long after I should in a lot of times. So when I spoke about justice, I hoped for a better outcome to my own demise. But in an overall global sense, yeah, hope is there, but it's not a driving force. Helpfulness, to be helpful to others. It is very important. Um, I think nurturance suits it better. Knowledge, it's the last one of them. To learn and contribute valuable knowledge. It is very important. I spend so much time reading and thinking and speaking to people and reflecting and sharing ideas and thoughts. I want to be able to share more. I want to be able to help people more. I think knowledge belongs over here. I really do. In this category, in this side of things. Let's do one last run through. One last run through. These are what we got left. So, passion, it can be over here. It's not, I don't, the passion is what's behind the thing, but I wouldn't be doing the thing if I wasn't passionate about it. So I'm okay with that. I think justice still stands. I think really justice retains its place. I want a better world, and I see justice as the statement of that. Um, Genuineness, I think that is a great contributor to retain authenticity in myself and in what I do and how I am, is critical. I need it, and I think it helps others too. Um, I think everyone, um, trans rights, I think that everyone who is unabashedly themselves, especially in a world that isn't necessarily 100% ready for them to be themselves, but they are, it takes a lot of bravery, a lot of courage. So the more of us that can demonstrate genuineness, the better the world will be. Absolutely. The less politicking, the less hatred, the less everything. The less of the bad things, more genuineness. I stand for it. Yeah. I'm going to hold on to these four. These are going to be, like they say, three, whatever, it doesn't matter. Play this game however you want. But these are going to be what I'm about. These feel right. I'm going to be presenting myself honestly. That's honestly marketing. This is what I'm doing. I believe in things. I'm going to tell you what I believe in. If I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know. I'm not afraid to do that, and I think that we would be better off often if we weren't afraid to say that we didn't know. I'm going to be promoting justice because I want that for everyone. I recognize how lucky I am in so many ways, and I really believe that we need to work hard and make the world a fairer place. And so, that's me contributing my knowledge and understanding what I've learned, and sharing so that I can share with others. And at the same time, nurturing those people that are doing great things and promoting people who are doing great things, and yeah, making the world a little bit better for those people that are making the world a little bit better. It's key. So this is, this is my first video that I've taken seriously, and please, if you liked it, like it. If you want to share it with others, if you think that this will help somebody, share it. If you have questions, leave a comment. Um, Subscribe. I do have a Patreon, of which I'm gonna get around to updating some things for it. It's far from up to date, but the idea is that the money that I raise through Patreon, I'm just gonna be hiring people, um, and like the money is not going to my living expenses. It's just going to be going directly into the channel to make it better, and to giving more people opportunities to to present what they're doing. Um, yeah, I'm open to ideas about how to spend the Patreon money too. That's completely part of it. I'm aiming to do transparent finances for it as well. Um, but like I've taken a long time to even create this first video, so we'll see how. Please don't pressure me to jump and do all these things just yet. If you're not ready to put anything in Patreon, please don't. It's not the most important thing in the world. I'm going to keep doing this, whether Patreon grows or not. Like I said, that money is not for my living expenses. I'm doing this because I want to be sharing knowledge, and I want to be sharing my experience, and I want to share my opinion, and hopefully again help others, um, and maybe inspire some. That'd be cool. So yeah, um, hit me up, drop me a comment, and I hope you appreciated this presentation of what's going on in my head. And please download these cards, cut them up, and do this exercise yourself. Uh, Feel free to leave that comment. Let me know what your cores were, and why. That's a cool thing. Make your own posts about it and reply to it. Tell me I'm wrong if you think I said things that were wrong, or even better, ask me, because often enough, it's a misunderstanding. It's not that we just didn't understand each other exactly as was intended. And so I'd love to have a dialogue before we get into any fights or drama or what have you. I'd like to avoid that as much as possible. So I promise I'm going to try. Um, and that's that. So again, thank you for your time, and have a wonderful evening.